Staab and Les Jackson.
Control.
Everything you need to know about new and used cars.
Control.
Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air.
Control.
Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin.
Control.
Because you're on cruise control. Cruise control. Cruise control.
And welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Hello, everyone. It's that time again. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson, and we have a bunch of great automotive stories for you. Les, we're going to start out this week with the CES show. I'll have a detailed piece on all the big screen TVs that came out so you can watch the big game. Oh, no. Actually, I'll talk about all the...
What? Wait a minute. We're talking about cars.
I'll have all the automotive stories that have come from there. As you know, CES has become quite the automotive show. And we'll have a new system from Mercedes that it is an AI personal assistant that has empathy. It cares about you, Les Jackson.
Wow.
And
I don't want the car to care about me.
And another company is saying, throw out your keys, and I'll tell you why. Maybe that's not empathetic to tell you to throw your keys away.
That's not empathetic. But over here in the real world, Kia revealed its platform beyond vehicle lineup, which is kind of cool. It's just a real versatile lineup.
Yeah, they're trying to get into delivery vehicles, livery vehicles, a whole lot more. It's a big concept, and hey, I think electric vehicles for delivery vehicles that is a good use.
Makes a lot of sense.
Good use for it, yeah. So we'll talk about it. It's a whole system, though. It's beyond that, as they say. So we will get into that and try to explain it to you. And then, Les, this may be the unattainium, but can you buy a full-size pickup for $32,000? The answer is yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Wheels and seats are extra.
Well, it is going to be still available, the classic edition of Ram, the Ram Classic. And we'll tell you a little bit about it. And it could be a good deal for if you want a full-size pickup, but you don't want to spend $40,000 or $50,000, right?
Or $60,000 or $70,000.
Yeah, I was being generous there.
Yeah, you were. You're being optimistic. And this is great news because, it's nice to have something affordable.
Yeah.
And what do you think are the most popular used cars?
Mazda 6s?
We're going to, maybe.
That's your Pontiac vibes. That's mine.
Pontiac vibe. Yes. Yeah. Daihatsu Nubira.
Yeah. Oh, my. There's one from the past.
Hey,
yeah.
Drove one of those on the Beltway.
We're going to talk about that. Green hydrogen. And I'll have an at-the-wheel review of the Lexus NX350H coming up on Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. Well, we're going to take you to CES in Las Vegas, where it used to be Consumer Electronics show.
Yeah.
But it's been taken over. So now it's the Car Electronics show.
Well, that's not the official name, but it could be.
No, but but if you went to it, that's what you would see. The auto industry has just... I'm sure that there's an equal amount with home electronics and home theaters and all that stuff.
High-tech vacuums.
High-tech vacuum. Gasoline-powered turtleneck sweater.
I know. I always have to bring up the Nissan thing for Wouldn't it be weird if everything was gas-powered and they had a gas-powered clock radio? That was my favorite.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like an engine started, and then once the engine got up to speed, the alarm went off.
That's right. But anyway, at CES, you teased it a little bit. Mercedes is there in a big way.
The whole car is
Uh,
a screen now.
whole car is a screen. Virtual assistant. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, AI, 3D graphics, run off of Unity's game engine. Constant expansion of 3D party app brings even
Well,
wider choices of entertainment.
I don't want people playing video games on the dashboard.
This started with Tesla, where you used the steering wheel as the controller. Um,
Man,
so what it has, Les, is I mean, some of this I understand. Like, I explained it this way. What they're talking about, a virtual assistant and AI for, like, navigation. You know how the navigation systems send you one way because it's the shortest, but you might not want to go over a certain bridge or whatever because
right,
there's a lot of traffic.
right.
It will do like this. Hey, Fred. Hey, there's a traffic jam up ahead. I know you don't like taking the George Washington Bridge. Would you consider it this time? That's how it's going to be. So it's very
Okay.
personalized. I do
Useful.
find that a little freaky, though.
It's freaky, but useful.
I mean, I think we've told people don't talk to inanimate objects for a long time, but now that's changing, isn't it?
Yeah, what I don't want it to do is sit up. Your posture is terrible.
Yeah. Why are you eating that hamburger? I told you to eat
Yeah,
something healthy. Get
that's
some
right.
vegetables.
This isn't good for you.
Yeah. Well,
But I mean, this isn't a rolling living room. This is a car.
yes. But I love how they say it has to have empathy for you and be polite. I've always thought some of the navigation voices were kind of stern.
Yeah,
What do you want? Like,
that's
okay.
right. Where do you want to go?
Like, okay. But the whole screen thing, I mean, I believe the passenger side, you can watch movies, but the driver can't see them. I don't know. I'm just,
I don't know. I just, I mean, we've been in these. They're interesting, but are they going to be interesting when you've owned the car for 3 or 4 or 5 years?
and then do you make friends with this assistant and then you sell the car and what happens? I mean, 4 traits they say that underpin the MBUX virtual assistant. Natural, predictive, personal, and empathetic.
Ah,
Blended to create a fully rounded whole. WHOLE.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to withhold judgment.
My guide, if I jump in the car, I've never used it before, and it's nighttime, can I start it up and move the car around
Exactly.
without opening up a manual? That's my test.
That's right. We agree. If you can't, then you're probably not going to like the car.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else happened at CES? Well, a lot of manufacturers are coming up with, open your car with your phone, an app to do that.
Right.
And, as part of phones for a while now, they have facial recognition, so you can unlock your phone by looking at it, right?
Right. I did a couple of those.
Yep. Well, it looks like one company is looking to do that on cars, and we'll talk about that when we come back on Cruise Control, cruising around the CES show in Las Vegas, looking for those automotive stories. We're also going to have the story about the most popular used cars. So if you're heading out for buying a used car, could be good information. I'm Fred Staab. He's Les Jackson. You're on Cruise Control. Stay tuned. Check out all our social media platforms. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson, we were taking you on a ride around the automotive industry. Interesting here about facial recognition and a system that they want to put in cars. It comes from Continental Automotive. Of course, they build a lot of parts and pieces for cars. Is that related to the tire company, Continental Automotive?
Yes. Continental Automotive is part of Continental, what used to be called Continental Tevis.
Now it's
But
Continental
yes,
Automotive.
division. And most people don't know that Continental makes most of the ABS and traction control systems for vehicles.
Well, now they're looking at doing facial recognition. It would be a camera in your B pillar, and it is a two-stage system that offers high security. And so you could just look at the B pillar of your car, and it would unlock it without a key. So you don't even have to take a key with you. And then there would be a second camera, which makes this unique. There would be a second camera housed in an instrument panel that would give an extra layer of security before starting the vehicle, so it would double check that your faces match. Children cannot start the car with facial recognition. So what's interesting is, I think it was the GV60 that I had, the Kia GV60. This had a version of this, but I don't think it had the second camera, but you set it all up, and oh no, I'm sorry, that used your fingerprint.
I did that one too. And it worked.
It worked, and it was a pain to set up, but yes, that was the fingerprint. I take it back. It was not your face looking at it, but as I say, our cars are becoming smartphones, so maybe this is something we will see. Pretty much, if Continental brings it out, they can sell it to a manufacturer, can't they?
Well, yeah. I mean, what'll happen, though, I believe, is over the years, all these things are going to be introduced, and then within a few years, their downside issues will pop up, and they'll sort of stop putting the systems in the vehicles that most people just quit using.
Yeah, I wonder about that. How much tech do people use? We could do a whole show on that. I never use the self-parking systems. I know you do.
Almost never do.
I thought you did. The ones where you could.
I did when I would show it off to other people in the car, but when I'm myself, I pride myself on parallel parking.
Yes,
really well. Just did it yesterday, and
me too.
My neighbor John was saying, "My gosh, you're good at that." And I said,
"I call it like the truck drivers, one shot. They call one shotting something, and you just back right up into the dock, and you're in. But that's what I try for. But the whole trick there is to pull up to across from the steering wheel of the other car.
Right. Exactly.
So.
And close your eyes.
And just accelerate. And if you hit something, pull away and find another spot.
That is the Braille method of parking.
Bump and go. Yeah.
That's right.
So, but anyway, will these technologies make it to the marketplace, to vehicles?
They will. It's most.
Well, you and I have talked about vehicles getting much more expensive on cruise control, and and we found one that's still a pretty good deal, and it's still going to be made at least for the 2024 model year, but we don't know after that, and that is the Ram Classic. The Ram Classic 1500 is confirmed for 2024, and remember, this is the one. This was introduced in 2008. And is the older model of the Ram that they still build Doesn't have like the modern screen in for navigation and things like that, but it's still a great truck. And it's interesting, they price this vehicle. It is most certainly a full-size pickup truck, and they price it at the same price as a Ford Ranger. So you can get one of these base entry level for $32,345, excluding the $2,000 destination charge. And that is on par with a Ford Ranger that starts at $32,670.
Right.
And
Ranger
you can get
hybrid.
You can get no, not the Ranger hybrid. That's
I
just
mean, the regular Ranger's all the way up to 32 now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, F-150s are in the 40s,
Yeah. Oh, this is great. For people that just want a pickup truck, a practical, simple, well-made, reliable pickup truck, there it is.
And what will change on this, they're not sure if it will go beyond 2024 because the two engine options are the 3.6 liter V6 and the 5.7 liter V8. The 5.7 liter is going to go away at the end of the year, the model
Right.
year. So will they take the time to put the Hurricane 6-cylinder in this? I don't know. I don't know if they will keep.
If it fits easily and it doesn't take a lot of engineering, yes, but otherwise, no, they won't do it.
Yeah. So it's a good deal, I think. But would you buy a brand new vehicle that was designed back as far as 2008?
Good question.
I mean, they've updated it. I'm sure they've done updates and things.
Something like this, yes, but if it were a passenger car, I probably wouldn't.
No. So if you're looking for a deal, and it's the only way you can get a regular cab in a Ram too. You can't get
that's right.
a regular cab in a Ram unless you go with the Classic. So they don't really promote it much, but I tell you what, I think it's a good possibility for certain people that you could buy a truck like this and then trick it out a little bit or whatever. But I think it would be decent. And it is a new truck. It's just not the latest and greatest technology. So I wonder, I know they do this typically to, this is their offering that competes against the Ranger. The other thing that might bring it to an end is we know that there's potentially the return of the Dakota pickup truck that would fill that midsize niche, and that might be what has them, do away with the Classic, because the Classic is almost a full-size pickup truck slated to go up against the other midsize, and it's an interesting thing. I mean, they can give you a bigger truck for the same money because it's an older model. So
right.
It's an interesting concept in this. So hey, we've got plenty more coming up on Cruise Control. We're going to talk about the most popular used cars, green hydrogen from plastic, and then we're also going to tell you what a turbo roundabout is.
Right.
It's not like an elbow coming out of the turbocharger to get the boost where it needs to go. But and then I'm going to have an at the wheel review of the 2024 Lexus NX350H. There are so many different models on that. The 250, the 250H, the 350, the 350H, the 450, the 450H. They've got a lot going on there.
I think I had one of those in the summer. I've got to check my calendar and see if it was the 350H or the 4 or.
Pretty cool stuff. It's all coming up on Cruise Control. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes.
And welcome back. Welcome back to Cruise Control. You know, a lot of people wonder about what to buy for a used car. We're going to call it a car, not any vehicle. And we happen to have the 20 most popular used cars in America.
Yeah, from iccars.com.
IC Cars, they do these studies often.
Yeah.
And most of them aren't cars.
They're vehicles, most
They're
popular
vehicles.
used vehicles.
They're
Yeah.
SUVs and trucks.
We put this up on our Facebook page, too, because there's so much.
Yeah, but this is interesting. You know, that some of them are predictable, but a fair number of them are kind of, gee, I didn't realize they were that popular.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll start with one that is predictable. F-150 remained the best-selling used vehicle in 2023. That's predictable. Yep. Maintains its number one ranking. It is the most popular new vehicle, too, as well, isn't it, in the U.S.?
Right. And predictably, the Chevy Silverado, being the number two most popular sold, is also the most popular on the used car market.
Tesla Model 3 is the best-selling EV.
Yeah. Now, that's interesting. That's interesting. Of course, especially when Hertz sells off 20,000 of them.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. They'll have a bunch of them, and it'll have that smell that you get in a rental car of that air freshener or cleaner or whatever.
That's right. And the Chevy Bolt is the third most popular, which is very interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like the Bolt. I definitely do like the Bolt. I think that's neat. Toyota Corolla moves up, jumping 5 slots to number 13, from number 13 to number 8, and that makes sense. I mean, Toyota Corolla is, gosh, I mean, how many did they sell? We did a story on it, like 50 million or something. Crazy number.
Like 40 or 50 million over the last 60 years.
Yeah,
50 years. And of course, the Camry.
Yep,
is right there with it.
Yeah. Let's look at some surprises on this. This is from IC Cars, by the way, iccars.com. And they analyzed 9.2 million used car sales from the last 5 model years, 2018 to 2022. You know, I look at this Ford Explorer, number 9, Nissan Rogue, number 10, Honda CR-V 11, Ford Escape 13, and rounding it out on number 20, Chevy Malibu. Yes, they still make the Malibu. I did not. You talk about Ram Classic. I didn't know they still made the Chevy Malibu, but
I didn't know they did either. And I actually saw one in the showroom as I drove past a Chevy dealer the other day.
Wow.
I said, my gosh, that's a new Malibu.
Yeah. But a lot of what I would call bread and butter in here, you know, Toyota Tacoma, Nissan Altima, bread and butter cars, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Honda Accord.
Yeah,
definitely. But, you know, where are the Hyundais and Kias and...
That's a great question.
The German cars.
Yeah, I mean, you do get the only German car I see so far on this list is the Audi e-tron, number 8 on the most popular EV. Most popular used SUV, Chevy Equinox, Toyota RAV4, Ford Explorer, Honda CR-V, and Jeep Grand Cherokee. You know, and it's, you don't see them that much. You don't see them that much. And F-150 basically, in most states, is the biggest, most popular used car. In New York, it's the Equinox.
That's right. They do this by state. Let's see, Virginia, F-150.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
Boy, yeah, by state, that really says something.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. So, I think there's some expected things and unexpected things there, but that's the iSeeCars.com study, the most popular used cars. If you want to take a look at that, hop on over to our Cruise Control Radio Facebook page, check it out, and like us while you're there. So we'd appreciate that. It's all good. So let's talk a little tech. Talk a little tech about hydrogen. You and I talked about hydrogen. A lot of people are talking about fuel cells and direct hydrogen power of internal combustion engines.
Yep.
We talk about this as a way of maybe keeping classic cars around and driving. But it was at the Consumer Electronics Show this week that Hyundai talked about creating clean, green hydrogen from plastics and, what shall we call it, waste, body waste.
Right.
And using it to power, they feel that they want to be a big player in hydrogen and will power everything from trams, vessels, power generators, even advanced air mobility. And they, of course, have the Nexto, which is their hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. So they want to make hydrogen in a clean way by recycling plastic and other stuff. If they can do that, that makes it really a sustainable fuel, doesn't it?
It does. And, of course, all plastic is made, it's a hydrocarbon, so there's lots of hydrogen in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to just release the hydrogen somehow. And they're using what they call a megawatt scale polymer electrolyte membrane electrolyzer.
I believe Amazon has one of those on sale.
Yeah, you can get one on Amazon for $49.95.
Right.
Yeah, but this is, you gotta kind of do all sorts of things to the plastic to get the hydrogen back out of it.
So it's involved.
It's doable. It's very doable.
Yeah. Will we see in the near future the talk of hydrogen and fuel cells get more popular? It seems to me that it's like they're like right now a lot of people are just, it's electric vehicles. It's electric vehicles. I mean, technically a fuel cell vehicle is an electric vehicle.
That's right.
It's generating its own electricity from hydrogen.
But yeah, it's a much more efficient electric vehicle.
Yeah. You don't need as big a battery. You mean you can have lower weight, which means more range, right?
That's right. And you can fill the hydrogen pretty fast.
Oh, yeah.
About as fast as filling a tank of gas.
Yeah, I remember doing that and thinking like, well, that's not bad. So,
yeah.
Are you a roundabout fan?
I am. I have studied roundabouts. They are a very, very efficient way of moving more traffic over a given amount of time.
Okay.
They're extremely popular in Europe.
Oh, absolutely. Drove in the UK
and in
recently.
Asia, but as usual, Americans don't understand them, don't like them.
And the part of the problem is you have to cross over sometime and change lanes and worry about getting in front. So there's a new thing called a turbo roundabout. And California is getting America's second ever version of this. What it does basically is you have to pre-select where you want to go, and it won't be that crossing over like, I have to get into the right lane or I have to get in the left. You pre-select where you want to go ahead of time, and there are, I guess Jersey barriers on either side, so you're now in that chute. And that will efficiently. The only thing I can think that it's like, and you'll laugh at this, did you ever have a coin sorter where you
Yeah.
put coins in a
Yeah.
trough and you crank a handle, and then it takes the pennies and dimes
Yeah,
and nickels.
that's right. It's very simple.
That's what it's like, I think. And I think I could get like that because I find here, if anyone has to give you any courtesy whatsoever by slowing down, letting you over, or whatever, it doesn't work. They don't do it. Merges, the people are like,
No,
nope, I'm going first.
Americans don't understand yielding. They don't understand that traffic is a cooperative exercise.
The zipper, as they
Yep,
say,
the
one
zipper.
goes in, one left, one right, one left, one right. So, hey,
I've always wanted to build a marshmallow cannon. And whenever somebody does something wrong near me, I blast them with marshmallow.
on that note, we'll be right back on Cruise Control.
You're in.
Hey, Les, at CES, Kia came out with this incredible concept of all these vehicles. They're little electric delivery vehicles that they're talking about it. It's kind of interesting how they put it. They call it a beyond platform or platform beyond vehicle lineup, and it is. They feel they'll be used for small buses, buses for people with physical disabilities. They'll be used as delivery vehicles. It looks like Kia is really making a big push into this segment. It's been a profitable segment for many and makes sense that they would get into that. But what's really interesting about it's not just vans, empty vans. These are rideshare vehicles, as I said, and others. And I just find it an interesting concept, the platform
Well,
beyond
it is.
vehicle.
I mean, this whole idea of being a people mover or simple, common platform utility vehicle, it just makes an awful lot of sense.
Yeah. The Kia, they have a whole PV from PV3 all the way up to PV7, different size vehicles. Just makes a lot of sense. And I think small vehicles like this that could be used for deliveries, man, that would be smart. So, hey, we'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. It's at the wheel time, Les Jackson. This time we have the Lexus NX. This is the 350H. Believe it or not, there are 4 drivetrains for this Lexus model, from a 250 all the way up to a 450H. Some are hybrids, some are not hybrids. And the 250 and the 350 gets kind of confusing. The 2.5 liter, I believe, is the base engine in the 250. Then you get a 2.4 turbo in the 350. But then if you get the 350H, you get the non-turbo engine with a hybrid drivetrain. And I think I have that right. So, yes, we have the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder hybrid engine with the hybrid system, in total 243 horsepower. And you can even get a plug-in hybrid version of this. So, really, the options are endless on the Lexus NX. So, NX 250, 350, 350H, and 450H Plus, the Plus being plug-in hybrid. But let's talk about this vehicle. Ours came in this very cool color called Redline. It's hard to noticed, but it is actually a metallic orange and a very, very vibrant color. Of course, up front, they have the famous fish mouth grill from Lexus. Got a little bit of a black fender well molding there to give it a little bit of off-roady looks. But ours was the luxury edition, which includes the leather seats. Very high-end interior. Sedate, a lot of gray and black, but great stitching on the seats. I even like the detail of the seat controls being piano black, which was nice. It made them look a little bit more upscale. On the inside, what's new is a new display and new wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Of course, you had the drive modes, which you get to show up on the dashboard. Great fuel economy. We got almost 35 miles to the gallon with this vehicle. It is rated at 37 city and 34 highway. Seamless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wireless. I like the volume control. So it's a mix of actual knobs and some push-button touchscreens. Good mix, I would say. Of course, we appreciated the wireless phone charger and the additional connectivity. You can run in EV mode at certain speeds, as any hybrid system can from Toyota. Some open grain black wood, and out back, the luxury continues. We've got leather seating in the back with that same great stitching detail. And also, in the case of our luxury version, we had 3-level heated seats for the outboard passengers and some good connectivity for passengers, 12-volt, and some USB-C connectors, so if you want to charge up. Out back, decent storage, kind of a tall storage area, so you can pile a lot of stuff in there. One of the things I really liked is how they finished this area off in true Lexus fashion. And you have buttons to not only drop the rear seats, which, is fairly common, but you also have buttons to have them go the other way. So you can, if they are down, you don't have to go around and open the doors. You could just push a button and bring them up. That's always nice, and that is definitely a luxury item, I would say. Not that it's the end of the world to go in there and open that up. But battery pack takes the space of where a potential spare tire would be, but you do get the first aid kit. Okay, under the hood, we've got that 2.5-liter four-cylinder hybrid drivetrain, 245 horsepower. Of course, it is a Toyota system, and it does incredibly smooth transitions from hybrid power to internal combustion engine and back and forth, start and stop. It's all great. They are the pros at this. I like the color. It really stood out. It's kind of a two-tone. You get the black roof.
It's bright.
It's bright. It's bright. My wife said, "Wow, that's really orange."
It's definitely orange.
Yeah. You notice the front end is almost straight up and down on these Lexus cars.
It is interesting.
Is interesting. Overall, my impression was this was a quality piece. It drove well, and it really, was not cheap. It was not cheap. I will say that. So the base price for the 350H is $59,580, and then we stepped it up with the cold area package, which includes windshield wiper deicer, convenience package, panoramic roof, and then the luxury package, which was about $6,000. That tacks on 14-inch touch screen. It tacks on the leather seats, the Mark Levinson sound. Added some more into that. Premium triple beam LED headlights, $1,500. Technology package, digital key. A 3-year trial of the 4G dependent digital rear view mirror. I'm not quite sure about that, why your rear view mirror would need that, but USB phone charging cable kit, $85. Oh my. You don't need that. You have the wireless charger, and you can certainly easily buy cables for a lot less than that. Ours had mud guards, 165, rear bumper applique, 90, door edge guard, 155. Total price with destination, $67,660. Now, the line starts, if you get the NX250, the NX250 is the non-hybrid model. That starts at $40,605. That's the starting price before options. And then the 450H Plus Sport, which is the plug-in hybrid version. The plus stands for plug-in hybrid. And I think the range is pretty good on this. If I'm not wrong, I think it might be 42 miles of range. I'll have to check that because that is super impressive. Yeah. I believe it is because it's just like the RAV4, which gets that RAV4 Prime. Very, very impressive. It's probably the same battery pack. 450H Plus Sport starts at $61,255. So these are not inexpensive vehicles, but I tell you what, you can certainly feel the quality and see the quality in them when you jump behind the wheel. Like I say, I like the Redline metallic orange. It's another one of those colors from the factory that I tell you, if you're building a hot rod, it would be a cool color to put on there.
I was thinking the same thing. It's a hot rod color.
Couldn't you see like a 34 Ford high boy in metallic orange? That would be cool. And it's a lot of flop in the paint, a lot of material in there. So, but just a pleasure to drive. Great mileage. As I say, I got like 35. It's rated at 34 on the highway, and city 37 for an aggregate number of 36. Another thing about Lexus, you do hit those numbers pretty easily. Piano black everywhere. It's loved by manufacturers. Open pore grain wood. Just so overall like a great feel with a great hybrid drivetrain from the folks at Toyota and Lexus. They do it best. You can't go wrong with it if you're looking for a premium, smaller crossover. Of course, it's two-row. Would you get the plug-in hybrid or the just the regular hybrid? I guess it depends if you have an electric socket close. It's up to you. But there you have it, the NX350H Luxury from Lexus. Another At the Wheel review in the books here at Cruise Control. Hey, it's time for me to say I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.
Bye.